Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another live stream. I appreciate you guys stopping by today. I want to say happy Easter to all of you that celebrate Easter. Hope you're having a wonderful Sunday. My goal is to try and do these live streams more often because I've been getting a lot of good, positive feedback from the last couple of live streams that I've done. So the goal is a couple times a month, try to carve out an hour and jump on a live stream and talk about building wealth and also answer your questions. But let's first of all start off by saying what's up to some of the people popping in. Brandon R, thank you, man, for joining us. LaWill, thank you for joining us. Game God, thank you for joining us. Tangela, thank you for joining us. So the first thing I want to talk about, and then we'll get into a discussion about sacrificing to build wealth, and then answer some questions. So what is the future of my YouTube channel? For some of you OG subscribers, you'll know I've been making content, whether it be car content or financial education content, for about 5 years. First 3 years of my channel was really a car channel. I kind of uploaded videos of my cars, little mods I would do to them, driving them, telling you guys what it felt like, what the experience was like driving them. And then about 2 years ago, I decided to pivot away from that and start talking about not how it feels to drive the cars, but how I was able to afford to buy the cars. And I started making videos about what I did, my experiences of building wealth over the last 25 years. And as I started doing that, the channel started to catch on, it started to grow. It went from 2 years ago, probably 20,000 subscribers, to now 2 years later, over 450,000 subscribers. And I owe that all to you guys for, watching the videos, hitting that thumbs up, sharing the videos. It inspired me to do more, right? Because it confirmed for me what I had already thought, that there was people out there who come from a similar situation like I did, where early on in life, I just didn't have any financial literacy or financial education. Not that I wasn't a hard worker and that I didn't make money. I did make money. I just didn't know how to manage it. I didn't know how to grow it. I didn't know how to keep it. So through you guys watching and the channel growing, that just validated what I thought. Hey, there is a need for this. So I started making more videos, which leads me up to now where I'm making pretty much a video every day or every other day. As the channel grew, though, obviously it became an income stream, right? Because YouTube puts ads on these videos. And when they put ads on these videos, a certain percentage of that ad revenue comes to the creator, which in my case would be me. So as the channel started to grow, the channel started making more and more and more money. And I started looking at the YouTube channel as an asset, right? Just like I would if I owned a piece of real estate, if I owned, investments in the stock market, if I owned, a normal operating business, right, where I had employees and things like that. So I started looking at the YouTube channel as an income stream. First and foremost, it was a education channel that I use in order to share my experiences. That's number one. I want to help people get to their financial freedom, right? So number one, that was my main goal, and it still is my main focus of the YouTube channel, is really to help people through my experiences build their own wealth, chase their own greatness, right? So really, that's still the primary focus of the channel. I think you guys, if you watch on a regular basis, you will know that. There's nothing fancy about my channel. It's just me and my iPhone 13 Pro that I record the videos on. That's it. I edit it myself. I don't do anything fancy in the videos, and you guys know that. It's just basic information that can help you get to your financial freedom, right? So that is what the channel is all about. That's what the channel will continue to be about. But as this channel grew and it became an asset, it became an income generator. Also, what became very apparent was there are companies out there who want to have access to my audience, my 450,000 plus YouTube audience, my 36,000 people on Instagram, right? And then Twitter and Facebook and all of the platforms I use. There are companies out there who want to have access to my audience, and the only way they get to you guys is through me. So I pick and choose who I want to introduce to you guys on my channel, right? And I know some folks get frustrated with some of the content I make around the Webull app. All thing I can tell you guys is I use Webull every single day. It's a great investment tool to help people build wealth if they use it properly, right? All the other stuff, the 5 free stocks, the 96, all of that stuff is an extra. Really, you should be signing up because you want to build wealth, right? Not just to get 5 free stocks or just to try to chase some money, a little bit of money, right? In my opinion, that's what it is. To you, it may be different. But that's not the primary focus of the Webull app. The primary focus should be it's a way for me to take a small amount of money on a consistent basis, buy my favorite companies, buy my favorite ETFs, buy my favorite index funds, and do that over a long period of time so I can actually build an asset that will generate passive income for me. That's the primary focus of it. Now, obviously, if I'm partnering with these guys, I'm compensated for that. I'm compensated through a referral that they give me, right? A referral fee. They give me stock, just like they would for you when you sign up, use your link, give it to a family or a friend or someone else, and they sign up, they'll send you stock. They do the same thing for me. And guys, I'm not going to apologize for that. At the end of the day, I'm a businessman. I'm a business person, right? YouTube is one of the places where I create income, but I add value in order to create that income. I make videos for you guys based on my experience, how to build wealth, whether it be through real estate investing, whether it be through stock market investing, whether it be through building a business, side hustles. If you go on my channel, all of that information is there, right? So my point is, as this channel continues to grow, guys, I'm going to have to make some business decisions, right? And some of those business decisions are going to be around me partnering with certain companies. Now, I'll never partner with a company that I don't use myself or believe in. I think you guys know that. If you spent any time on my channel, you'll know that. I don't do that. The only product I've ever referred to you guys or asked you guys to consider was the Webull app. And the reason I did that is because I use it, guys, every single day. I buy my favorite companies and I buy my favorite ETFs every day. Now I'm starting to buy crypto. I'm starting to buy Shiba Inu. I'm starting to buy a Doge. So I'm even starting to buy a little bit of crypto using what? The Webull app, right? So please, if you don't want to use Webull, then don't use it, guys, right? If you don't want to see the videos I make on Webull, skip them. Go on to the other 475 other videos I got that are not Webull videos. Try one of those. But I'm not going to stop promoting something that I believe in. And if some people feel some kind of way about it, hey, man, all I can tell you is there are plenty of other YouTube channels out there to go watch, right? So enough on that. The channel is going to continue doing what it's doing. I'm going to continue making daily content around personal finance, around building wealth. And I'm going to also be, like I said, I will be introducing other partners that I'm going to be partnering with in the near future to the channel. So please, hopefully you guys will be excited about that. I hope you would be, because if you know me and you watch me for any period of time, you know I'm only looking out for your best interest when it comes to building wealth, guys. Before I even got on YouTube, I had already built a level of wealth, right? Before I even got on YouTube. So YouTube is not my primary anything. But I will say, since I have put the time and effort into building a YouTube channel from zero, no help, no collaborations, but making videos for you guys and you guys being kind enough to watch them and share them and come back for more. That has built this YouTube channel, but it has to evolve. It can't just be that, right? It has to evolve. And I hope you guys understand that. So let's talk a little bit about, first of all, let's see who is in the chat, and let's see if we can answer some questions. And then we're going to start talking a little bit about, the sacrifice it will take in order to, build wealth, at least from my perspective. So we got, let's see who we got in here. Let's see, mutual funds or index funds. Now, I'm an index fund guy, and the reason I'm an index fund guy over a mutual fund is because, see, a mutual fund is going to be actively managed, right? So that means they're going to be actual people picking the investments that actually go in that mutual fund. So somebody has to pay those people. Those people have to they have a salary, they have families to take care of. So a mutual fund, in my opinion, is going to have more fees, right? So if I put $10,000 in a mutual fund, I may be hit with 125 basis point fee. So 1.25% fee on that 10,000 I put in. Whereas with a index fund, it's what they call a passively managed investment. All that means is it's not really any human beings picking the companies that go inside that investment. Really, that investment, that index fund is really tracking an index, or it's tracking a sector, right? So it's not picking individual random companies. It's actually following something. It's mirroring something. For instance, an S&P 500 index fund is mirroring the S&P 500 index. So the same 500 companies that are in the S&P 500 index, they're going to be in that S&P 500 index fund, right? So that's the real difference for me, is one is actively managed, you're going to pay more fees. One is passively managed, since there are really no human beings picking anything. Really, it's really a computer, an algorithm that's kind of picking it. Then you're going to pay less fees, right? So I like the one with the less fees, because that means my rate of return on my investment, my 10,000 I put in, should be higher than if I put it in a mutual fund. People will disagree with that, but I'm just giving you my opinion. I would always tell you, go out and do your own research and make your own conclusion. I'm just giving you my opinion. So if you don't like that opinion, you're very welcome to go out on the internet or go talk to a licensed financial advisor, and maybe they can bring it home for you. But I'm just giving you what my opinion is. So let's see what else we got in here question-wise. Oh, Shaka, who is mad that you're advertising Webull? Come on, man. You know how we get. But that's okay. That don't defer, doesn't that doesn't bother me. I don't mind people sharing their opinions in the comment section. That's the reason there's a comment section. So go ahead. I just hate for people to be frustrated when all you got to do is not watch that video. I mean, come on, guys. I mean, it's not that hard. It's not rocket science. If you're not interested in Webull, I'm telling you right now, in my videos, I'm going to mention Webull as long as I use their app. I'm going to make some dedicated videos every month about Webull as long as I use their app. Now, as long as you know that, then you see the video, guess what? Skip it. Go to the next one. Like I said, I got over 500 and something videos on YouTube, and 90% of, well, I'll say 80% of those videos are financial education videos on all different topics, right? So try some of those. Let's see here. So the future of your channel is the present. The future of my channel is doing the same thing I'm doing now, but I'm going to be adding more partners. right? I'm going to be add more companies that I believe will add value to my audience when it comes to building wealth. They will be a tool for them to use. Will I get paid for those collaborations and partnerships? Yes. Again, this is not a non-profit business I'm running. I run a for-profit business, right? But I do not put money over people. People first, right? That's what my channels are. People first, but I am going to get paid. But I'm going to carefully pick the companies I partner with. And I'm not going to apologize for building an asset and then monetizing it. That's what I'm trying to teach you guys to do. Build assets and monetize them. That's the concept, guys. I'm trying to get you to understand that. It's about building assets and monetizing those assets and creating income for yourself. So then you can go do the things that you really want to do and not have to worry about income. So let's see here. Let's see what we got here. People fail to realize that. No problem at all. Let's see here. We got any questions in here about, let's see, I tried to reach you via Instagram, but I'm not sure it was really you. Yeah, be careful, Miss Mahogany, Libra. There are a lot of people on Instagram, a lot of people in the YouTube comment section that are impersonating me, claiming to be me when they're not. But just be careful. Just know I don't use WhatsApp. I don't take money from people to invest for them. I don't do day trading. I don't do Forex trading. I don't do any of that stuff that these guys are trying to get you to send in the money to do. So just be careful with that. If someone starts asking you for money to invest for you, whether they got my avatar or not, coming up on the Instagram DM or down in the comment section of the YouTube videos, stay away from it because that's not my MO. I'm not going to ask you guys to send me money to invest for you. That's not what I do. I make YouTube videos. And I do have a company called RF Financial Consulting where I do financial sessions, one-on-ones with people via Skype, FaceTime, Zoom, those types of things. But that has nothing to do with me taking your money to invest it for you. That's you sitting down with me via the internet and talking about your situation. And then I share with you some things that I believe could help get you to where you want to be. So be careful with that. There are a lot of scammers out there. Let's see what we got here. Hey, I appreciate that. Wins Beyond 82. Hey, man, I appreciate you. Thank you for all your support. Let's see what else we got here. To go work the dream. You got okay. Let's see here. Yeah, because somebody totally okay. Tell us what you think about the New World Order and the depression of the dollar. Well, guys, you may not like my answer. Again, guys, this is my opinion. So please take it for that. The dollar ain't going nowhere, man. I mean, come on. I mean, why would the United States? Why would the United States allow the dollar to disappear? I mean, they're just not going to do that, man. Not in our lifetime. I'm not saying never, but that's not going to happen anytime soon. I mean, come on. The New World Order is fine, and if that's what you want to believe, I believe in the dollar. I believe in the United States, and I believe in the dollar. That's what I believe. So I think the dollar is here to stay. I don't see it going anywhere in the foreseeable future. Right now, the dollar is worth a little bit less because of inflation, right? As soon as we get inflation down, dollar levels itself out, prices start coming down a little bit, things will be fine. We've dealt with this for over 100 years, right? And I think the dollar will be fine. That's just my opinion. Again, I don't get into this New World Order and all this crap. I don't get into it. All I know is when I go to my bank account, I take money out, they pay me in dollars. When they start paying me in something else, then I'll start worrying about the dollar. I ain't worried about it. When I go to the bank, go to the ATM machine, I get paid in dollars. When no more money comes out of the ATM machine, when I punch my money and they pay me with something else, then I'll worry about the dollar. Let's see what we got. Make sure his name is blah, 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 blah. What do you think? So, okay, let's see what do we got. They want, hey, I appreciate it. I can't pronounce your name, but salute, brother. Thanks. I appreciate the super chat. Thanks for what you do. P.S. The dollar is the world's reserve currency. It's not going anywhere anytime soon. Thank you. I'm with you on that. Thank you very much. It is the world's reserve. Guess what? When everything is, all hell is breaking loose around the world, guess what people take their money from out of their country, and guess where they bring it? To the U.S. dollar. When that changes, then I got something to worry about. But until then, U.S. dollar is going to be fine. I agree with you, JSHINE Randoms. Thank you for the super chat, man. Appreciate you. Mr. Fain, I follow your videos and utilize your advice daily. As a fellow car collector, wondering, will you be doing anything more car-related vids on another channel with the 911? You know something? I probably will not be doing anything car-related like that, because I'm really one of these guys who I love cars, but I don't like going to car shows. I'm not a guy that goes on car rallies. And I just enjoy going to my garage, looking at the cars, jumping in them, taking them for a drive, and putting them back. That's so for a car channel, you got to have some more content for people, right? You got to take them on rallies. You got to go to car shows. You got to collab with other, car YouTubers. You got to do all of that thing if you want your channel to be worth anything as a car channel. So I don't think I'll start a car channel, but what I will do is hopefully this year I'll start trying to sprinkle in a little bit more car content on this channel. Obviously, it's a financial education channel, but I'll try to do a little bit more car content. But the car content I do, I try to relate it back to how financially I use these cars and how I buy these cars, so that you guys know, hey, this is how Richard is buying his cars. Is that an option for me? Should I consider that? So that's typically what I'll do is hey, here's why I never pay cash for my cars, that kind of thing. So not a full car channel, but I'll try to sprinkle in a little bit more random car content on the financial channel here. Pedro Micril. So would you say 50% S&P, 50% total stock is a good plan? I think so. You guys know I'm a big believer in, 50% of your money, but probably 80% of the money you're investing, especially if you're a young person and not anywhere close to retiring. If you're a young person, not anywhere close to retiring, I think 80% of the money you're investing should be going into a broad-based stock market index fund or ETF. So if you got $100 to invest, I think minimum $50 of that $100 should be going in the S&P 500 or a total stock market ETF. Right? That's just my opinion, because I think you want growth, but you don't want to be in a position where you're out there trying to pick the winners and losers by picking just individual stocks on your own. You want to go with a proven ETF or a proven index fund. And I think the S&P 500 ETFs and index funds are pretty proven over the last 90 years. So I think that would be the path I would take. And then if I want to take the last 20% of my $100 and buy some individual stocks, then I would probably do that. But I think 80% of it would go towards an S&P 500 or a total stock market or a combination of those two. And then I take 20% of the money and buy my favorite companies. And that would be my individual stocks. And then 80% would go into, like I said, the ETFs. Let's see what we got here. Let's see who we got here. What are your thoughts about AT&T stock in there? Okay, TR Vaughn, thank you for the super chat, man. I appreciate it. Do you change your stance on crypto? For the most part, no. Let me explain. So I'm not going to take 10, 15, 20, 30% of my net worth and put it in crypto. That's not the game plan for me. Here's the game plan. The game plan is take some, take Shiba Inu, take Doge, and while these are super, super, super cheap, but it seems like they're here to stay. Remember, Shiba just started being offered on Robinhood. Robinhood has 24 million users. So what that means for Shibu is if any of those people start getting behind Shibu on Robinhood and buying it, that's going to drive up the price, in my opinion, of Shibu. So here's my play, though. So Shibu right now is nowhere near a penny, right? But it's being offered on Webull. It's being offered on Robinhood. And my thing is okay, I can buy 100 million Shibu Inu, 100 million Shibu Inu for around $2,000. I'll buy that 100 million sheep, hold it for 5, 10, 15 years, however long. Because if it gets to a penny, if sheep gets to a penny and I'm holding 100 million Shibu Inu and it gets to a penny, that 100 million Shibu Inu turns into what? $1 million. So that's my strategy. I'm going to buy Shibu Inu and I'm going to buy Dogecoin. Those will be my two cryptocurrencies. I'm not buying anything else. And I'm just going to buy and buy small amounts over time. And if sheep gets to a penny, Doge gets to $1, $2, $5, then hey man, it'll pay off handsomely for me. But my downside will be very small because I'm not putting 100 grand in the sheep. I'm not doing that. I'm putting $2,000 in the sheep. But with that $2,000, I'm going to be able to buy 100 million Shibu Inu. And if sheep gets to a penny, man, I'm telling you, that 100 million, if it gets to a penny, turns into $1 million. So that's the game plan I got with crypto. What do you get in dividends per year? I don't take any dividends. Why would I take dividends when I'm earning? I'm still earning. I'm still in the active earning stage of where I'm at right now, right? I'm still earning, right? I got the YouTube channel. I got sponsorships. I got RF Financial Consulting. I got other things that I do to create income. So if I got all this income, right? I got a lot of income. Why would I still want to take on dividends? I roll those dividends back into buying more shares and building that asset up. The only time I'm going to take dividends is when I'm not actively earning anymore. When I'm not running my company, RF Financial Consulting. When I'm not aggressively pursuing the YouTube channel and building that asset. When I'm through doing all that, through buying real estate, through investing, when I'm to a point where I'm in the golden years and I'm done with all of that, all I want to do is kick back and relax for the rest of my life, then I'll start taking dividends. Then that's when I'll need the income. But until then, I just reinvest my dividends into buying more shares and keep building that asset. With inflation, would you say buying and selling watches is a good idea today? I think it's a good idea to buy and sell luxury watches at any period, whether inflation's up or inflation's down. I just think it's a smart way to build income, which you can then take and build wealth by buying assets that create passive income. So I started buying luxury watches around 2006, 2007. We were pretty much getting ready to start the great 2008 recession. That's when I started buying luxury watches, right? And I've been buying them ever since. Now, I will tell you, in today's market, it's different because some of your well-known brands like Rolex have chosen to restrict their production. So they don't make as many watches, and that's by design. That's the way Rolex wants it. Rolex wants to be a prestigious, great company, name brand wise. So they don't want to flood the market with a lot of their products. So they restrict production, right? But what that does, when they restrict production and there's a huge demand for their product, what happens is you can't find them. So when you do find one, typically it's on the secondary market. So if I'm a guy who got lucky enough to buy a Pepsi, the brand new with the Jubilee band and all that, if I was lucky enough to get a Pepsi brand new from a authorized dealer, I probably paid $9,500, $10,000 for the watch. But guess what? They're going for $25,000, $27,000 on the secondary market. So what happens is when you have a lot of demand, low supply, it runs up the price on certain luxury watches. And that's what's happening now in the market. But I still believe you can still make a lot of money by going after brands like Omega, Breitling, Panerai, IWC, these brands that are right underneath Rolex. You can still buy those brands at a discount from the right place and still turn around and remarket them online for profit. So I just wouldn't worry about Rolex or AP or any of those really expensive brands. I wouldn't worry about any of them. I would just concentrate on the brands that most people can afford, like Omega, Breitling, Panerai, IWC, any of those brands, people can still afford those. And those companies mass produce those watches. Why? Because they're in business to make a profit. See, Rolex is not a normal company. It's a foundation. They don't care. All they care about is they want to have a prestigious name. They don't care if they don't want to sell 5 million watches a year. But I guarantee you Omega does. So there's an opportunity if you look at the right brands and you buy them at the right discount, you can still make a lot of money, whether it's inflationary times or non-inflationary times, in my opinion. Let's see what we got. Let's move on to some more questions. Ann G. Hey, Ann, how you doing? It's been a minute. Reinvest dividends. You're absolutely right, Ann. Reinvest those dividends and keep building wealth until you are at a point where you're in the enjoyment stage of wealth. While you're still in the building stage of wealth, I'm not sure why you would be taking dividends. You should be reinvesting those dividends and building that wealth. So when you get to the enjoyment stage of wealth, guess what? Then you want to start taking the dividends and they're going to be more. Because why? You have reinvested them all those years and kept compounding and compounding and compounding. And then at that point, when you're in the enjoyment stage of wealth, that's when it's time to take dividends, in my opinion. Advice for a 17-year-old. My advice for a 17-year-old is to learn how to make money, number one, right? Learn how to make it, learn how to keep it, and learn how to multiply it. Dive into my videos, man. I talk about those three things quite a bit. That's what I would tell a 17-year-old just starting out. Learn those three things, and you're going to be financially secure before you're 30, right? You will be there if you start now, but you got to know those three things. You got to be able to do those three things with money if you really want to run at this thing and just knock it out of the park as a 17, 18, 20-year-old. Hey, you need to know those three things as a 30-year-old, as a 40-year-old, at a 50-year-old. See, doesn't matter what age you are. Got to know those three things. They'll serve you well. Thoughts on Dave Ramsey? Joey Ramos. Thoughts on Dave Ramsey? I love Dave Ramsey. I think Dave is one of the pioneers. I think he's a pioneer in teaching people how to build wealth methodically over a long period of time. Even though I know all of us want to go to sleep tonight and wake up tomorrow and be millionaires. We all want that. But let's face it, 99% of us is not going to do that. So we better learn how to earn money, keep our expenses low, stay out of debt, and invest. And that's what Dave teaches, and that's what Dave's taught for the last 30 years. Now, do I agree with everything Dave teaches? No, I do not. But I would say 70% of what he teaches, I believe in. The only real aspect of what he teaches that I don't believe in is debt. I think debt used correctly can assist you in building your wealth. I think what Dave's point is, most people don't know how to use debt correctly. So he just tells them to stay away from it. But if you know how to use debt correctly, smart debt, not bad debt, listen, man, debt can be your friend. OPM. What else we got here? How about, let's see here. Hey, Larry, how you doing, man? We definitely got to get together. I'm gonna have to hit you up here. I got your message, so I'm on it, man. We got to try to collab and do something. I know what you're doing is awesome when it comes to teaching people about financial literacy and how to build wealth. And I think together we can do some good stuff, man. So yeah, definitely. You and I definitely got to get together. And I appreciate you stopping by the live, man. I appreciate it. Let's see. Thank you much. Appreciate it. Have to go now. All right. Take care. I know it's 11 o'clock in the UK. Be good. I think I'm going to be on here about 20 more minutes, guys, and then I'm going to end it up. So let me answer as many questions as I can because I know we got some more in here. Would you say the S&P 500 and the total stock market, S&P, or either one, man? You know, the S&P 500 is just your top 500 companies in America, right? Rank your top 500. They got metrics that they use to determine that, which I can't get into, but it's your top 500 companies. Normally, your total stock market is going to be more companies, right? More companies. Some of them may be small cap, mid cap, large cap. It's going to be more companies. Either way, either one, you want to be in one of those, right? If you're trying to grow your wealth, right? If you're an older person or a person who's already built their wealth and you're trying to just protect your principal and you're not trying to grow it rapidly and take on more risk, then there are other investments for you. But if you're somebody that says, hey, you know, I got $500 a month and I want to put this $500 a month into something that can grow it for the next 10, 15 years, then I think that's one of the investments you got to look at is an S&P 500 ETF or index fund or a total stock market. Lars Bach, hi from Germany. Hey, Lars, how you doing, man? Or I'm not sure if it's a man, but how you doing? Let's see what else we got in here. Dave got me out of debt. I agree with some of his debt is good. Okay, I got you. No problem. Like I said, Dave's great in his teachings, and I definitely am a fan of his. At what total amount would be a good amount once invested in 401k to reinvest? I'm 37 and just started a 401k. Well, you got to determine that, right? You're 37 years old. You got to figure out, hey, here's my target date. Here's my, target amount, target net worth, because obviously the net worth creates the passive income. So you got to figure out what your plan is, right? I don't know how much you should. I mean, obviously in most 401ks, traditional 401ks, I think if you're under 50 years old, you can do 19.5 or something like that. Don't quote me on that. Go out and do your own homework, but you got to figure that out, man. You got to figure out what your ultimate goal is and what you're trying to do, right? For me personally, I used my 401ks because I got a match from my company. So my company said, hey, Richard, invest in the 401k. You put in 6% pre-tax dollars and we're going to give you 4, or we're going to give you 5, or we're going to give you 6 to match it. Then that's what I would put in. I'd put in whatever amount they needed me to put in to get my match. So if it was 6% to put in to get my 6% match, now I got in essence, 12% going into my 401k. Then that's what I did. And then I would take the rest of my money that I was investing and I would find other investments outside of the 401k that gave me a little bit more latitude in what I wanted to invest in, because typically most 401ks, they're going to have a certain number of investments you can choose from. It's not going to be unlimited in most cases. They may have 4 or 5 mutual funds. They may have 4 or 5 index funds, whatever, but it's going to be pretty restricted. I didn't like that. I was saying, okay, whatever my company says I got to put in to get my full match, that's what I'll put in. And then all the rest of the money, I'll go open me a Roth IRA or a traditional IRA, and I'll take the rest of the money and I can put it in whatever I want to put it in. And then I'm still got the same, I'm still building wealth for retirement though. But you got to figure that out. At 37, you got to figure out what the game plan is, right? What is a good expense ratio? Well, I like my expense ratios I get at Vanguard, right? I got VTSAX, which is a total stock market index fund. And I believe my expense ratio is 0.0, I want to say 3% on that one, 0.03. So for every $10,000 I put in, they charge me $3 a year in that fund to manage it, which is super cheap, right? And on my ETFs, one of my ETFs, which is my VGT, which is Vanguard Information Technology, it's 0.10%, right? So a little bit higher because why? It's being invested in a specific sector, the tech sector. It's not just a broad-based stock market ETF. It's specifically going into a sector, which is the tech sector, information technology to be specific. So just you can check though. Anytime you're looking at an index fund, a mutual fund, an ETF, Just go to the information on that fund that talks about the expense ratio. What you really want to do is you want to lower the expense ratio. In my opinion, the better if it's a quality investment. I'd rather pay 0.03% than to pay 0.15%. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather pay lower if I can get equivalent performance or better performance. So cheaper to expense ratio with same performance or better is what I'm looking for. Let's see what we got here. I just started investing in March of 2021, and I'm already significantly close to my FIRE number. Your videos taught me my problem wasn't how much I was making, it was that I didn't have a plan. Hey, thank you, Church Revolution 2. I appreciate that, man. You hit the nail right on the head. See, it ain't how much you make, it's how much you keep. That's the key to building wealth, right? Yeah, don't get me wrong. All of us would want to make $1 million a year. But I guarantee you, I've worked with people in my old banking days. These people made $1 million, $2 million a year, but kept none of it. They kept none of it. They spent it all. So what's the difference? Yeah, you got a bunch of things, but you got no assets that generate passive income. So the key is whether I make $1 million a year or I make $50,000 a year. The more I keep, right, and the more I'm able to invest in assets that actually generate passive income, the better off I'm going to be in the long run. So you're absolutely right. It's how much you keep and then how you multiply it is what really matters. What are the best tax shelter strategies? I don't know anything about tax shelter strategies. I'm not a CPA or a tax guy. Go talk to a CPA or a licensed tax advisor, and I'm sure they'll be able to share with you all of the strategies they know about. I don't know anything about any strategies when it comes to sheltering anything. What I do know how to do is hire me a really good CPA, sit down with that CPA, tell him what my financial game plan is, tell him what I want to accomplish over the next 5, 10, 15 years. And then it's his and I, or her and I, job to make all of that happen, right? I earn the income. They help me manage that income through whatever is available to me through the law when it comes to taxes, right? I only want to pay my fair share of taxes. I'm not trying to evade taxes. I'm just trying to avoid paying the share that don't belong to me. I'm just going to pay what belong to me. So talk to your CPA. They'll get you straight. Let's see here. You are the reason I invested in VOO, and that has been the most profitable asset. Man, I'm telling you, VOO, which is basically Vanguard's S&P 500 ETF. It's a monster, man. It is a monster. So, hey, check it out. If you're looking for somewhere to put money and grow it long term in the stock market, and you don't want to be the expert out there trying to pick individual companies and trying to figure out who's going to be winners and losers, take a look at an S&P 500 ETF or index fund. Let's see here. What else we got? Who else we got in here? Hey, Richard, I am trying to get my first rental and having a hard time with that. Do you recommend any insights on how to do that? Well, Vatsal, I think that's your name. I just don't know enough around what your financial situation is, right? I'm not sure where you live. I don't know if you're here in the U.S. or you're outside of the U.S. But fundamentally, for me, it was about, normally, I'm my old lender, right? But a commercial lender. But it's still about, commercial lender, residential lender is still about the same thing. How much income do you make, right? How much do you have left over? What type of credit score do you have? And does that lender believe you can afford that property? See, the way these lenders look at it is the rental income is great, but they want to know if he didn't have that rental income, does he have the wherewithal, the financial wherewithal to pay us back if you don't have this tenant in there? And if they don't believe you do, most cases, these lenders are not going to want to do the loan. Because in the real world, tenants sometimes don't pay you. Sometimes you have a downturn and people lose their jobs or whatever, and they can't pay rent. And if they can't pay rent, then that lender really don't care. But the lender cares is we made you the loan, not your tenant. And if your tenant ain't paying you, that's your problem. We want our money. So what they're trying to do is when they're underwriting your loan request, they're trying to look at your income and they're trying to look at your expenses. And when I'm talking about expenses, I'm talking about your debts, not your light bill, not your phone bill, but your debts, right? They want to look at your income, they want to look at your debts, and then they have a ratio they want to see. And a lot of people call that the debt to income ratio, right? And normally for real estate, they want to see your debt to income ratio probably no higher than 40 to 45%. All that means is for every dollar you make in income, gross income, they don't want no more than 40 to 45% of that dollar going to pay for debt. If it's higher than that, you're a risk. They may not do the loan because what that tells them, you're in their opinion, you're over leveraged, right? You got too much debt relative to the income you're making. So what I would tell you is whatever your situation is, take a look at the reasons why they don't want to. Now, maybe your reasons are not financial reasons. Maybe you just can't find a rental property. I don't know that because you didn't share a lot. But typically when people can't get in a property, normally it's because they can't get the financing. Most of us can't just go in our pocket and pull out a check and pay cash for a piece of rental property. Most of us can't. So most of us have to go get a loan from somewhere. And that loan process can be a hard process if you haven't taken care of your financial situation, right? So let me move on here. TJ, Mr. President. All right, man. Okay, you must have saw my little video. You know YouTube tripping this month. So they ain't trying to show none of the videos, right? They ain't trying to put them in YouTube recommendations. They just tripping this month on my channel. But that's cool. That's YouTube, right? YouTube is a trip. But for the few of you did see that video about me running for president, that was just a way for me to really get your attention on the things that really are important to me, right? And I may do that. I may run, but for now, I'm just gonna sit tight. So, Mr. President, how are you doing, brother? I am late to the party, but I'll rewatch what I missed. How is everything doing? TJ, everything's wonderful, man. I can't complain, right? I'm able to hang out with you guys, make videos to help, right? To help. And I love doing it, right? I love doing it. I'm passionate about it. And my health is great. My family's great. So for me, it's in this order. This is the priorities for me in my life, right? God, my faith is number one priority. And then my number two priority is my family, right? And then my number three priority is me, in that order. So all good on all sides. And I hope all is well with you, TJ, and yours. Let's see what we got here. What we got? About 12 minutes, guys, and then we're gonna get out of here. How would you invest $6,000? Well, is it your last $6,000? First thing, I would invest it into the emergency fund if I don't have that tucked away, right? So my emergency fund needs to be 3 to 6 months of my expenses, right? My monthly expenses. So if my monthly expenses are $2,000 a month, I should have at least, right? I should have at least $6,000 to $12,000 in my emergency fund before I invest anything. So I shouldn't be doing any investing if I don't have an emergency fund, right? That's number one. Second, I shouldn't be really doing a lot of investing if I have high interest rate credit card debt or high interest rate loan debt, period. I should be concentrating on paying that off. And when I say high interest rate, I'm talking about anything 5% or higher. I would be concentrating on paying that debt off. And then once I got my emergency fund established, I got that high interest debt paid off, then I would be started thinking about rolling money into an investment. And again, I would be rolling it into an S&P 500 ETF or an index fund or a total stock market ETF or index fund, especially for someone that's trying to build wealth. If you're at a point where you are in the enjoyment stage of wealth, you've already built your wealth and you're trying to just preserve your wealth, then I probably wouldn't do that for all of my money, right? Because let's face it, when you're investing in companies like the S&P 500, or the total stock market, they are subject to the ups and downs of the stock market. So if you're a retiree or somebody living off your wealth now, and you don't want to see that fluctuation, then you probably want to look for other investments that give you a little bit more consistency. They're going to give you a lower return, right? Because it's less risk, but you get more consistency. Maybe you take a little bit of the money and put it in an S&P or total stock market so you can get some growth. But I think the majority of it you want to protect if you're older and you're in the enjoyment stage of wealth. If you're in the building stage of wealth, then you got to get aggressive, man, in my opinion. I think the aggressive you want to be is through the S&P and through the total stock market. Let's see. What do we got here? Time's running out. Let's see. Investing in financial assets is the key to financial freedom. No. Julio Don, you're absolutely right. What we want to do, we want to take our active income, right? Active income, money that we're trading time for money. We're trading time to get a check. We're trading time to get money. We want to take that active income and we want to put it in things that some point down the road will grow at this asset. And then this asset will pay us a passive income where we don't have to trade any time to get that money. The asset does it, right? So that's what you really want to do. You want to take your active income and you want to invest it and turn it into passive income. Let's see here. Or maybe put it in I-bonds. Again, whatever that'll protect it for you and give you enough money to live on, that's where you want to do it if you're in the enjoyment stage of wealth. And again, guys, you can always go talk with someone who's a licensed financial advisor. Just find somebody that you like, that has a good track record, and then they can help you kind of find investments out there that actually will maximize the income you can get off of an investment once you start looking to get income off that investment. Let's see here. $6,000 extra, no debt, starting out. What should I do with it? Well, again, what's your goals? What are your financial goals? I don't know if you want to go short term, long term. You want to take the $6,000 and go to Vegas and put it all on black. I don't know. There's many things you can do, but first you got to figure out really what's the purpose of the $6,000. What do I want to really? What do I want this $6,000 to do for me financially? Is this a $6,000 that I want to put into something and then I want to double it, right? Find an investment where you get a 10% rate of return, rule of 72, you can double that $6,000 in 7 years. It'll be $12,000. I don't know what the deal is. I don't know really what you're looking for from an outcome, because that will really tell you where you want to look to invest it. If you say, no, man, I'm 90 days, I want to return in 90 days, that's a whole different investment. Or if you say, hey, I'm good, man, I want to put it in something over the next 7 years and just double it, that's a different investment. So you got to decide really what the money is. What are you trying to accomplish with the $6,000? What is the actual financial goal you're trying to accomplish with the $6,000? I have $20,000 emergency fund. Is that too much? I don't know. What are your monthly expenses? Because you should have 3 to 6 months minimum, 3 to 6 months minimum of your monthly expenses in your emergency fund. So I don't know what your monthly expenses are. All you got to do is take your monthly expenses, times it by 3, times it by 6, and there you go. And then if it's too much, then you could always take some of the $20,000 if it's too much and think about maybe investing it. About to close on my 6th home. What should I do now? I don't know. I'm not sure what your goal is. Again, guys, it's all about what is your financial goal. You got 6 homes, but I have no idea what the plan is. What did you buy 6 homes for? What are you hoping they do for you? And when do you want it to do it? So you got to have a plan. You got to have a plan. Diego Garza, appreciate the super chat, man. Let me get to your question here. What do you think about sport betting investments? Do you know anyone who's doing well in it? No, I don't. And I don't know nobody doing well in it. Come on, man. Why do you think Las Vegas exists? All right. Why do you think gambling is legal there? Why do you think all of these offshore, all these online betting places are popping up because they're profitable, man. Right? They got the edge. You know, they're gonna win. More times than not. I don't care what these guys tell you on Instagram or all these guys out here tell you, oh, take my picks. Listen, man, you can't beat these. You cannot beat these casinos. You cannot beat these online casinos. So my recommendation is, hey, if that's a recreational sport for you, and that's something that gives you a little bit of personal enjoyment, take a little small amount and hang out and do whatever you want to do. But I wouldn't put my financial freedom in it. I wouldn't bet on winning enough money to retire, because that's not gonna happen. And that's my opinion. Now, maybe there's this rare 1% of people out there that can make it happen, but most people who gamble, man, lose. Look at the statistics. Do some research. Most people that gamble lose, right? So I would not put a dime in gambling. What I would do is I would take my income and find investments with a proven historical track record of performance. And I would lower my expectations when it comes to how fast I want to. No, listen, man, building wealth takes time. For 99% of us, it's going to take some time. So just be okay with that. Put that money in a good investment every single month and just watch your wealth grow. Like I said, I personally don't gamble. I wouldn't gamble because I know you can't win gambling. There is no win long-term gambling for people. It's just not, man. Like I said, the rare person, 1% of the population, maybe. But for the most of us, 99% of us, we're going to lose our shirt, man. Stay away from that, please. I want to invest $5K and Longster turn it into $50K. I can't help you with that. I don't know anything about taking $5K and turning it into $50K in a short period of time. That's not what I do. I take $5K as initial investment, and then I back that up with $500 a month, $1,000 a month, and I just keep buying investments until I build myself to that $50K over time. But I don't know how to take $5K today and put it in something and turn it into $50K. If I knew how to do that, I probably would. My net worth would be higher than it is now. I don't know how to do that. So you have to talk with somebody that can help you with that one. But I'm just a long game investor. Take a small amount of money, take a large amount of money, put it into a good historically performing investment, and every 7 years double my money. That's what I do. So that's all I can offer you from a experience standpoint. What else we got here before we go, guys? We got about okay. Let's see what else we got here, and then we got to get out of here. Do we got any more questions? Yeah, we got a couple more. Let's see here. What about structured notes? Tried to and underlying stock for coupon payments monthly and passively. Just not enough color around that. I don't know what I can't answer that one because that's just a little too vague for me. There are gambling stocks like, again, man, I'm not going to put my money in no gambling stock. No, I'm going to put my money in an S&P 500 ETF with the top 500 companies in America, right? That's where I'm going. I don't know about no gambling stocks. I ain't putting no money in no gambling stock. But if you want to, it's your money. You do what you want to. But me, I'd rather go with the top 500 companies in America, proven companies, historical track record, performance, perfect for me. I wouldn't be able to sleep at night if I had 50 grand in some gambling stock. It just wouldn't do it for me. So I'm going to pass on that one. I'm going to stick with an S&P 500 total stock market ETF. Let's see here. I am a bit well paid. I max out my 401k, my ESPP and company equity of 40 a year. I also invest 1K every month and have a property. Do you think I should get a car worth 35K? Are you still in the building stage of wealth? Or are you in the enjoyment stage of wealth? You got to tell me which one. If you're in the building stage of wealth, I don't know. I probably would take my extra money and keep getting till I get to wealth, till I get to my enjoyment stage of wealth. See, the thing is, guys, I don't take money that I could be investing until I get to the enjoyment stage of wealth, till I have built my wealth to a point where it produces enough income to take care of me. That's the enjoyment stage of wealth. If I have not built enough assets that actually generate enough money on its own to take care of me, I got to still go to work to take care of me. No, I don't buy it. I go buy me a dependable car that can get me from A to B cheap as I can get it. So if that's 10 grand, 15 grand, I can pay cash for, and it still gets me to A to B, just like the 35, 45, $55,000 car. That's what I do. Because until I get to the point in my life where my assets take care of me, then I shouldn't be taking money and buying depreciating assets, right? I shouldn't be. I should be taking my money and putting it in assets that build wealth, that create passive income, so that at some point I don't have to trade time for money anymore. So I hope that answered your question. What advantages of the LLC or just making the same money as a regular individual or six figures and up? Guys, I'm not sure. You know, we watch too much stuff on YouTube on these LLCs, guys. You know, limited liability company, right? I mean, one, you got to have a company. I mean, I guess you can just create one if you want to and just have it. But what's the point of it? Number one, an LLC is just a business entity, right? You're still going to have, you're going to still have to be, you know, it's just a business entity. So I don't know. I mean, for 25 years, when I was a W-2 guy working in banking, right? Side hustles, buying real estate for income, investing in the stock market. I didn't have no LLCs. Oh, nope. I did a basic 1040 personal tax return with a Schedule C, Schedule E, covered everything. What the hell I needed an LLC for? Now, when I'm not a W-2 guy and I'm just a guy out here 1099 in it, and I don't have a W-2 coming in, I did create an LLC. Why? Because I wanted to pay myself. So I created an LLC. Business entity is the LLC, right? But my taxation status is S Corp, right? So I got an LLC, limited liability company, as my business entity. And then I'm taxed like an S Corp, right? So a pass through. So that's what I did once I got out of banking and I started RF Financial Consulting, the YouTube channel, all this other stuff I do. Then I created an LLC because I had better tax advantages because I wasn't a W-2 guy no more. See, when I was a W-2 guy making six figures a year, I could have created whatever I wanted to create. I still was going to have to pay taxes on that high W-2 income I was making. Yeah, I could have did some creative stuff, write-offs and all this stuff. But at the end of the day, man, the IRS looks at a business and says, well, really the business, at some point you got to make a profit, or why are you in business? You can't just be taking losses every single year forever. Oh, I'm just in business so I can take losses. These people ain't stupid, man. If you're going to have a business, at some point you got to be profitable. You can't just write off everything and be negative every year so you can avoid paying taxes. You think these people don't know that? The IRS knows that. So my tell you is, before you do anything, go speak with a CPA, man. Tell a CPA what you're trying to get accomplished, what you're trying to do. Get you some professional help before you find yourself in trouble with the IRS. You do not want to be in trouble with them people, man. You do not want to be in trouble with the IRS. It's not worth it because I'm trying to avoid paying a little bit of tax. Forget that. If I'm making money and I got to pay taxes on it, that's a good thing for me, right? I had to pay $80,000 in taxes this year, me, for 2021. Write a check for 80 grand for taxes. And I was more than happy to write it because I made a lot of money. I don't mind paying my fair share. I ain't got to worry about the IRS. I go to bed at night. All these people running around here, I make $1 million a year, I don't pay no taxes. Listen, man, don't fall into that trap because I'm telling you, get in trouble with the IRS. You don't want it. Please talk with your CPA. Find out the right structure for you. And then stick with that structure and abide by the rules. Stay out of trouble with the IRS. Let's see here. Man, I'm way past my hour. All right. 10 more minutes, and then we're gonna get out of here because we do got quite a few people in the chat. So let me concentrate on a few more questions, and then I'm gonna have to really shut this thing down. Let's see here. Until you have disposable income, I don't buy anything that's not required. Okay, I'm with you on that. All right, Percy, I appreciate the super chat, man. I like that. These people ain't stupid. I'm a S corp and I'm doing everything by the book. All they want us to do is compliant. There you go, man. Perfect. Thank you. There you go, right there, Percy. Astronaut status. Exactly right. Just do the right thing, man. Stop all of this trying to be like these people on YouTube. I'm telling you, man, these guys, I'm telling y'all, you keep following these guys on some of these guys on YouTube. I'm telling you, you're going to get yourself into trouble with the wrong people. You do not want to get in trouble with the IRS, man. I'm telling you, all this old crazy stuff. Just do the right thing. Get your CPA and figure it out, man. Let that CPA help you find the right structure for you and your business. Let's see here. What do you think about Trust Wallet? I don't know anything about Trust Wallet. I'm sorry. Please answer. I don't know anything about Trust Wallet. I answered it. Best way to build credit. Best way to build credit. Get credit and then pay your bills on time. That's the best way to build it. I don't know how else to tell you. Get you a, if you're brand new to credit and you don't have any credit, you may want to start off with maybe like a secured credit card. Go to a credit union or your bank and say, hey, I'll give you $300 to secure me a $300 credit card. And then when I get that credit card, I would use it, pay it off every month. Use it, pay it off every month. And then what will happen is the credit union or the bank that you have that credit card with, they'll say, hey, we love the way you've been managing your credit card. We don't need your $300 security deposit no more. And plus, we're going to move you up to a $1,000 limit. Now you got established credit. You just got to continue to use it properly and pay it off. See, that's a problem with people with credit. One, they overextend themselves, right? They get too much credit. They hit a bump in the road because why? They don't have no emergency fund. And the reason I know most people don't have an emergency fund because statistics tell us 67% of Americans don't have $1,000 in savings. So what happens is you got this good job, you're making good little money. You go out and get all this credit cards, car, furniture. Oh, you don't have to pay us today, pay us in 24 months, all of this crap. All of a sudden you hit a bump in the road, lose your job, get laid off, get sick, income stop. Now you got all this credit out here you can't pay. And that's a lot of times what happens. People will get into trouble because they're overextended. So you have to just be careful with using credit. I mean, credit is a great thing if you use it properly, but don't overextend yourself, right? And have an emergency fund. See, if you got an emergency fund 3 to 6 months and you hit a little bump in the road and you got to find a new job, now you got that emergency fund you can lean on, pay your bills until you get yourself employed again or get you some income coming in. So just be careful with overextending yourself with credit. Just keep the right amount of credit, right? Don't have 15 credit cards. Get your 1 or 2 at reasonable limits. Use them, pay them off in full, right? That's how you build credit over time, right? Billionaires don't pay taxes because their businesses have tax breaks and they own real estate and real estate has no taxes. Okay, well, hey, that's your opinion. You obviously you know billionaires. You maybe you're a billionaire and you know this, but I've worked with quite a few multimillionaires. I've not worked with a billionaire, but I've worked with a lot of clients of mine who had $100 million real estate portfolios, and they paid some taxes. So I'm not sure who you're talking about, but that's okay. If billionaires don't pay taxes, more power to them. You and I are not a billionaire. We're going to pay some taxes, or them people are going to come find us to pay while we ain't paying. Now, I'm not saying we don't have legitimate ways to write off things. You do, but just do it within the limit of the IRS rules and regulations. You'll be fine, right? I just wouldn't try to take shortcuts to save a little bit of money, and then all of a sudden I'm in trouble. That's all I'm saying. There are legal ways to avoid paying taxes. All you got to do is talk with a CPA or someone that knows about that, and they can help you navigate those waters. But I wouldn't go off of what somebody else told me or some YouTube video. What do you think about authorization used on credit lines? Not something that I have ever done and would do, hopefully, but I'm not saying it's not right for you. Everybody got to figure out their own path when it comes to credit. For me, early on, my credit was terrible. And at 26, I decided to get my act together. I went on, I mean, at that time, there was no internet. So I wrote letters to TransUnion, Equifax, Experian, got copies of my credit report, disputed everything. Some of the crap fell off. What didn't fall off, I just had to buckle down, wait my 7 years. Once it fell off, I just made sure I didn't get myself back in that situation again. Some people, they've done that 3 or 4 times. You just got to get a better mindset when it comes to credit. But if buying trade lines and all this other stuff is something that you want to, put a Band-Aid on the wound and not really heal the wound, go ahead. But most times when people do that, they fall right back in the same trap. They get their credit destroyed again, and they got to go through the same process. Better yet, change your mindset, get a better relationship with credit, understand how credit works, stop over leveraging yourself, and I think you'll be fine. What do you think of a good time to enter the stock market? Right now. Why wouldn't you enter it right now? See, time in the market is not real good, right? You don't want to be picking winners and losers. What you want to do is time in the market. You want a dollar cost average in, because the stock market works sort of like this, right? It's sort of like a slow up and down, but it's always kind of, so over time though, it's proven historically that it's a winner over time. But in the short period of time, it's going to be some months are going to be like that. So you can try to sit here and time the market, but what most people who have not ever really invested in the stock market, a lot of us do, is we think the right time to get it in is when the stocks are going up. And in my opinion, that's when you really should be getting in is when they're going down, right? And then taking a certain amount of money and putting it in every month, whether it's up or down. So yeah, I would say just get in, man. There is no perfect time. Just get in right now with good companies or good ETFs or good index funds, and make a commitment that you're going to put money in every single month, right? Until you reach your financial goal. Whatever that goal is you set for yourself, put money in every single month consistently in good investments, and just keep doing it until you get to your goal, whatever that goal might be. 2 more questions, guys, and then we're done. We're done. 2 more questions. So let me find 2, and then we're gonna get out of here. What's some good stocks, guys? I like ETFs and index funds, right? I like S&P 500, and I like total stock market. I can't give you any individual stocks. I can give you what I really invest in, which are those 2 things. What else we got? Last one. Stay away from the Belkay. That's not a question. Should I house hack a duplex with a FHA loan? What's your real estate game plan? What's the plan for real estate? What's your plan? Just to get one house and house hack it? What do you want to level that up to? What do you want to do with real estate? What's your real long-term goal building real estate or buying real estate? Are you trying to create a certain amount of passive income every month? Are you trying to create wealth through building equity in the properties? What are you trying to do? I don't know that, so it's hard to say. Last one, and then that's it. Karen Prince speaks. Hi, Richard. I save money to invest in the stock market. However, I can't afford to dollar cost average monthly. I can save a fund a couple of months. Do you recommend buying now? Yes, I do. I recommend buying, but I would buy S&P 500 or a total stock market ETF or index fund right now. And I would start putting my money in that. If I got some money I can put in this month, put it in. If I don't have money next month, I got to save up the following month, put in, and just consistently do that. And also, since you don't have enough money to put in, you may want to look at, where's my income? Do I need to increase my income? Do I need to reduce my expenses? Because really what you want to do is you do want to put in every month consistently. And if someone tells me they don't have enough money to put money in consistently every month, I always have to go back and say, look at your personal finances. How much income do you got coming in? How much of it do you got going out? Okay. And then you got to look at those expenses and you got to ask yourself, how many of these expenses are needs and how many are wants? Right? And then you got to cut out some of those wants. Now, if all of them are needs, no wants, and you still just don't have enough money, then you got to figure out a way to increase your income, right? If all your expenses are necessary expenses, you need those things to live, then you got to increase your income, because the only way you build wealth is through income. You got to have income that you consistently put into investments. And consistently means every single month in my book. So I hope that helps. All right, guys, y'all have been great. Thank you so much for stopping by the channel. If you're stopping by for the first time, please consider subscribing, share the video, smash that like button. Also, if you want 5 free stocks, you guys know I had to get it in. That Webull offer is down in the description box of this video. So jump on it. Go get the 5 free stocks. But like I said earlier, really, what you really should be doing is using that app to be able to invest in your favorite companies, your favorite ETFs, and build wealth long term. That's really the purpose of it. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Thank you very much. Thoughts become things. If you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hands. You guys keep chasing greatness. Never stop believing in yourself. And I'm going to catch you on the next video. Peace.